Today's learning session will discuss how minutes can save lives when it comes to stroke. We will learn how getting treatment fast can reduce stroke-related brain damage and increase the chances of survival and recovery. The learning session will also discuss how making healthy life choices can lower your risk for for the stroke. Today's webinar will run from 9 to 10 a.m. And to save on time for questions, you may have kindly use the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and we will entertain them or entertain your questions at the end of the lectures during the open forum. Doc Tina is a neurologist with subspecialization in stroke and vascular neurology. She is a fellow of the Philippine Neurological Association and the current chair of its Stroke Council and the past president of Stroke Society of the Philippines. She's a graduate of BS Biology Accelerated Course, cum laude, of the University of Santo Tomas College of Science and obtained her medical degree at the same institution. She finished her residency training in adult neurology at the UPPGH, and she also pursued 2-year fellowship training in stroke and vascular neurology at St. Luke's Medical Center, Quezon City, with rotations in University of Pittsburgh Medical Center Stroke Institute and New York Presbyterian Stroke Institute and Neurovascular Laboratory. So we are very, very much privileged to have our speaker today. She's also the head of the Division of Adult Neurology in PGH and Department of Neurosciences, and also a member of the University of the Philippines Manila Research Ethics Board. So we have a really big speaker today. With all that, let us all give a big welcome, warm welcome to our very good friend, Doc Tina San Jose. Welcome, Doc Tina. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Sa. Thank you very much. Sabi ko lang, iksian mo lang yung intro. But thank you very much for that. Let me share my screen, please. So, good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak before you this morning. I am privileged, no? And Sarah was inviting me several times, no, for this, and di ako sabi ng yes because of some commitments, but one of my advocacy talaga is really to talk about strokes, and it's actually one of my passion is to lecture and give talks on stroke on both the lay and even professionals. So let me title this as Recognition and Prevention of Strokes, and we put here hashtag stroke save say stroke save precious time. So all of this will be related to the emergency management of stroke. So let's start by talking about stroke by the numbers. So it always starts with saying how big the burden of stroke is. So annually, we have 15 million strokes worldwide, 5 million deaths, and 5 million permanently disabled because of stroke. So parang panay 5 siya, no? 15 million, 5 will die, and 5 will be permanently disabled. Every 2 seconds, someone in the world suffers a stroke, and every 6 seconds, regardless of age or gender, someone somewhere dies of stroke. So that's it. It just means don't need to remember this, but it just says it's very frequent. And the lifetime risk of stroke is 1 in 6, which means if kunyari tiga-anim kayo, no, count 1 in 6 will have a stroke. But the good thing is up to 80% of strokes are preventable. Okay, so let's discuss what stroke is. Stroke is, if we define it into pathology, it is the sudden onset of focal neurologic deficit due to an underlying vascular pathology in the brain. So it means that it occurs suddenly and the patient presents with deficits due to a problem in the vessel in the brain. And it's also known as a brain attack. Okay? So remember that yung naka-red, mga kasama yan sa mga take-home messages natin. Stroke is a brain attack. So what happens in stroke? So as mentioned, it's the blood vessel in the brain that's affected. And the blood vessel can either be blocked, and ang tawag dyan is ischemic stroke. And it's the more common type of stroke, which occurs in 80 to 85%. And as you can see, the vessel here, this is not a healthy vessel. These are actually fat deposits, cholesterol deposits, and you see that blood is prevented from flowing towards the brain. While the other type of stroke is the hemorrhagic stroke, where the blood vessels rupture. Okay? And it occurs in about 15 to 20%. So 80-20. So most of the patients would come in with ischemic stroke. Yung hemorrhagic stroke, nahati pa siya sa dalawa. Okay? If the bleeding occurs inside the brain itself, ang tawag namin intracerebral. Cerebral means brain, sa loob ng brain. And it's often caused by uncontrolled hypertension. So the problem is if you're hypertensive or if you're not meron iba undiagnosed, so hindi nila alam na hypertensive sila, or if they're hypertensive, they're not taking their medications properly, or hindi nagmo-monitor. No? Basta nagtitake and there's no monitoring. Okay? And eventually the vessels would weaken and they would rupture. The other type of hemorrhage is the subarachnoid hemorrhage, where there is weakening of the blood vessel wall and it ruptures, causing blood to pool within the covering of the brain, sa base ng brain. And that's known as subarachnoid hemorrhage. Ang pinaka-common dyan is due to cerebral aneurysm. So, sino yung mga sikat na nagkaroon ng aneurysm? If nanonood kayo ng Game of Thrones, sino nga ba yun? Yung merong dragon, yung matandaan. In real life, may aneurysm siya and she was operated twice. And if hindi nyo na siguro naabutan ng mga bata na kayo, but if you know ang artista si Isabel Granada, she died of ruptured aneurysm. Okay? Stroke is commonly nahihirapan i-differentiate from a heart attack. But stroke is a brain attack as opposed to heart attack. So anong difference, no? A brain attack or stroke happens in the brain, heart attack, no, happens in the heart. The pathology may be the same, no? Nagkaroon ng vessel na nabarahan. So similar cause, often similar risk factors, but different organs are affected and different ang symptoms. So chest pain, okay? Sa stroke, we'll talk about the signs and symptoms when a particular part of the brain is affected. Now, some basic physiology. Okay? The brain needs substrate. No? Para gumana, para makapag-isip tayo, makapagsalita, makapag-lecture, makapagtrabaho na maayos, the brain needs oxygen and glucose. Yan ang pinaka-core. Hangin and glucose, 'di ba? Kaya pag gutom na kayo, 'di ba, masakit na ulo nyo, hindi na kayo masyado makatrabaho. And the brain needs that to generate energy, no? To generate ATP for energy for the neurons, our brain cells to function. But the brain does not store any of this, no? Kaya blood flow should be constant. Kaya pag may mga patients nag-a-arrest, ang pinaka-worst na affected is the brain, no? Hindi naman nangingitim yung mga kamay natin, mga paa natin, hindi naman nag-i-ischemia yung ibang parts of our body because our other parts of the body can store glucose unlike our brain. So, ang brain natin, kailangan tuloy-tuloy ang daloy ng dugo. Yun yung nangyayari sa stroke. Napipigilan yung part of the brain to receive blood flow, therefore, walang oxygen and walang glucose. So, they were able to quantify na, no? I don't know, parang mga physiologic studies, they were able to quantify how many cells are dying, no? And they say 2 million brain cells die every minute after stroke. So which means kaya yung hashtag, no, save precious time. And nilalagay nga dito minute, but actually every second count. So just to give you an analogy, now what happens in stroke, this is the brain, you have a garden, kunyari may trees, and the blood vessels are actually the pipes. So what happens in stroke is one of the pipes may be blocked and you end up with plants dying because of lack of water supply. So ganun yung analogy for stroke. Okay? So what happens now? Without blood flow to the brain, nerve cells die and you end up with death or disability. Okay? Yun yung problema sa stroke. You may survive, you might die, but you end up with disability, and a lot of this disability are really disabling, no? Imagine, no, you cannot talk, your half of your body is paralyzed, and really affects not only the person but the family taking care of that patient. Very important is the signs and symptoms are dependent on the part of the brain affected. Kaya hindi lahat ng stroke pare-pareho ang presentation. No? Ibang pasyente namin nagko-comparahan, bakit mas mabilis gumaling to, bakit ito yung presentation isa, because it depends on the part of the brain that's affected. So just basic talk then on how the brain is organized. No? The brain is an organ that's highly organized in terms of function. How we divide it is right and left. So yung mga right-handed sa inyo is left brain dominant. If you're left-handed, your right brain dominant. And your left brain is the thinking brain. Nandyan yung analytical functions, the math functions, the language functions are on the left side of the brain. While the right brain is our artistic side. No? Kaya nakikita nyo maraming artists left-handed. No? Mga music is on the right side. Emotions are on the right side. Okay? Kaya nga sabi ko mukhang na-develop ko lang yung kaliwa kasi wala talaga akong ka-art eh. No? But ang ano niyan is if the left side is affected, the right side will manifest the symptoms. So opposite siya. And our right brain, kung right brain ang affected, it's the left side will manifest the symptoms kasi crossed. Yung pathways natin, ganun ka-organize yan. No? And sa neurology, yun yung inaaral namin, no? Saan dumadaan lahat yung pathways. So kung left brain function affected, your movement and sensation of the right side is affected, language is affected, reading and writing, and vision on the right side. So you may not see half of the visual field. No? Kalahati lang, kaya mga ibang pasyente bumubunggo kasi hindi nila nakikita yung kabilang side nila. While the right brain, now pag affected yung right brain, movement and sensation of the left side of the body is affected. Face and object recognition, may tinatawag kaming prosopagnosia. Hindi nila ma-recognize yung face ng isang tao. Body awareness, tawag namin dyan, neglect. Pag tinanong mo sila kung ano yung right and left nila, they cannot identify. They're neglecting one side of the body. No? Grabe yung brain natin. No? It functions really in so many functions. And when stroke happens, a lot of our functions that we develop over time, biglang nawawala. And vision on the left side. The other way of organizing the brain aside from right and left is front and back. So front, ito yung front, ito yung back, and we have lobes. Frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, temporal lobe, and up and down. So ito yung supratentorial and infratentorial. Infratentorial, you have the cerebellum and the brainstem. Important lang, frontal lobe, thinking yan, language, speech. Sensation, nandito sa parietal lobe. Vision is in the occipital lobe. Behavior, memory, hearing is in the temporal lobe. Balance is here sa cerebellum. And other basic functions natin like temperature, breathing, swallowing is in the brainstem. So again, the manifestations will be dependent on what part of the brain is affected. And each part is being supplied by a particular blood supply. Okay? Kaya ano yan, kasama yan sa inaaral namin sa anatomy and physiology. So without imaging, we know what part of the brain is most likely affected when a patient comes in with deficits. Okay? So ito yung signs and symptoms of the stroke. These are the most common signs and symptoms: weakness, numbness on one side of the body, trouble speaking or understanding speech. Ito yung understanding speech, daldal sila ng daldal, no? Or kinakausap sila, hindi ka na nila naiintindihan. Learning of speech, bulol magsalita, hindi nila ma-pronounce. Loss of vision of one eye, biglang nabulag yung isang mata. Doubling of vision, nagdodoble. Dizziness and loss of balance. Severe and unusual headache. So maybe we have regular headaches, no? But headaches related to stroke are usually severe and unusual and common to sa aneurysm, no? The worst headache of their life. Okay? To make you remember, kinoin yung be fast. And it also gives you an idea how you should respond in acute stroke. Be fast. It used to be fast, but they recognize that maraming nami-miss out, kaya dinagdag yung B. B means balance, no? Loss of balance or coordination. Eyes, nagdoble bang paningin? Or hindi makakita on one side? Or nabulag sa isang mata. Face, nangiwiba. Yan, kitang-kita yan, no? Nag-droop yung isang side. Arm, taas yung isang kamay, babagsak yung isang side. Speech, yun nga, daldal ng daldal, walang sense yung sinasabi, or hindi ma-pronounce yung dapat sabihin. T is time. Again, save precious time. If patients have any of these symptoms, call 911 or EMS atin, or go to the hospital, and stroke-ready hospital lang. Ina-advocate natin. Okay? So, eto, again, remember, time is brain, and time lost is brain lost. So, remember that. Crucial actions, okay? Next is stroke is treatable. So, we used to think before, I was a resident that time, na pag stroke and I had 10 referrals, hinuhuli ko yung stroke. Kasi alam ko walang gagawin. But much has changed now. And I would show you ano yung nagagawa na sa stroke. Nung time ko nun, kalalabas pa lang yung treatment, no? Pero mali din yung sabihin natin walang magagawa sa stroke. Even oxygen and fluids are very important in acute stroke. When we say treatable, we explain ano yung iti-treat natin sa stroke. So pag may nabarang part of the brain, there's an area where blood flow is so bad that we cannot do anything about it. Parang tatagating epicenter. The worst destruction. We cannot do anything about it. Normal blood flow is 50 ml. In that area, it's less than 12 or even less than 10 ml. Wala nang magagawa doon. But there's an area surrounding it where flow is not as bad, but it's not normal. And we call that the penumbra or ischemic penumbra. Kita niyo yung blood flow. It's not 50, but it's not as bad as the core infarct. And this is the salvageable area. Yan ang ina-attempt natin i-save when we see patients with acute stroke. And it depends, no? If you're able to recanalize, nabuksan mo yung vessel, you can salvage the penumbra. If not, you end up with a patient with large destruction. Okay? Ang ginagamit ko din analogy dyan is pag may sunog. No, binabasa na natin, diba? Hindi lang yung nasusunog na bahay. Minsan yung katabi, binabasa mo na. See what you want to salvage that area. So that's the purpose. That's a concept of the penumbra. But the penumbra will not stay a penumbra forever. Kaya dapat mabilis talaga yung action. Okay? Just to show you an example of how a clot looks like. Ito yung bumabara sa vessel. There are red blood cells, may platelet, these are blood components, and merong fibrin that enmeshes the clot. So it makes the clot hard. So anong binibigay natin sa stroke? We have a drug known as TPA, ini-inject yun sa IV, and the purpose is to break up that fibrin linkages. So mas madali nang, and hopefully mag-recanalize yung vessel. Now, what's new also now is you can use clot retrievers, which means pinapasok mo yung wires using catheters and binubunot mo na yung clot sa loob ng blood vessel. Okay? So these are treatments available now. Mas ito, hindi pa masyado, pero thrombolysis is being done in many hospitals in the Philippines. Okay? Just to show you a graphic picture of what a retriever is, ayan siya. No? Yan ang ipapasok mo siya sa vessel and hopefully hugutin mo siya. So this is an angiogram. This is a blood vessel in the brain. Kita nyo dito, barado yan. Ginamit ng stent retrievals. Ayan yung clot na natanggal. You see blood flow being restored. So ang dami na. Nag-restore na yung blood flow. And you end up, this is an imaging of the brain showing an area that resulted still in death. So yan yung sinasabi natin, core infarct. But a lot of this area has been salvaged because of that intervention. Okay? But all of this has to be time-bound. Kaya stroke is an emergency. And yung thrombolysis, yung gamot na pwede ibigay sa IV, it can only be given up to 4.5 hours of symptom onset. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, from the time na nag-first symptom yung patient, up to 4.5 hours. Bakit 4.5 hours lang? Kasi yung gamot na yon, masama din, they were able to show na pag binuksan mo yung vessel, napatay na naman yung brain, duduguin ka lang. So there's no point of giving the drug kung lagpas na sa oras and you'll get more harm. You'll do more harm. And yung thrombectomy, yung retriever na pinapasok, can be given up to 6 hours of symptom onset. That's why eto clock. Again, no? Paulit-ulit tayo. Time. So from home, you need to go to the hospital immediately. A doctor sees, kaya may tinatawag kaming brain attack team. No? Pag the ER is already alerted. No? Yung kanina may tumatawag sa akin, may brain attack eh. So, tinatawag na ako nung resident ko. And I just instructed her to do all the tests muna. Okay? Allowed sa amin is from the time the patient comes in the hospital, they're given 1 hour to do all the tests and give the drug. Okay? So kung mahirap din yung patients at pag dumating 4 hours na or 4 hours 15 minutes, di na namin makahabol yon. Baka thrombectomy na lang. Okay? But really, no, time starts from recognition. Okay? Yun yung pinaka-important. Okay? How about hemorrhagic strokes? Just to show you pictures of how hemorrhage looks in a CT scan of the brain. Ito yung image natin. This is the brain. This is the right side. This is the left side. This is how a bleed looks like. Parenchymal bleed. It has been shown that patients bleed. The bleed can expand, no? Several hours from stroke onset. Kaya important na dalhin din siya kaagad sa hospital to prevent this expansion. So kita nyo, this is 2 hours and 6 hours, ganitong kalaki na siya. Okay? And this is a picture of a subarachnoid hemorrhage. So kita nyo, hindi siya primarily sa brain itself, but in the meninges. Ito yung tatawag natin base. And ito yung actual picture of the brain. No? By autopsy, and you see the blood there, no? Yung pula-pula, in the base of the brain. So ang goal natin is prevent expansion of the bleed in the brain, manage increased pressure in the brain. Imagine nyo, no? Yung brain natin kasi nasa skull yan. So pag may pumutok na vessel, you have added volume in the brain and increases the pressure in the brain. Kasi sakit ang ulo ng mga pasyente, minsan natutulog. So we give medicines to lessen that pressure in the brain. And as mentioned, aneurysms the walls are very thin and they can re-rupture anytime. No? Yung first rupture na nga, some patients do not survive. Paano pa pag second rupture? The mortality is very high. Okay? So anong ginagawa sa bleed? Then we can investigate the cause of bleeding. Pwedeng drug-induced. So we can give reversal agents. We control the blood pressure, but it should be done in the hospital kasi may guideline kami ng pagbaba ng BP. These are examples of surgeries done in patients with bleed. Kita niyo yung skull dito. Botas, no? So binubuksan yung skull to allow the brain to expand out. Kung hindi, ang mangyayari niyan is may ipit ang brain and you cause more damage. And the patients can even herniate, no? Herniate means may ipit masyado and eventually the patients die. Other surgeries can be evacuation of the hematoma. So may catheter dyan. This is minimally invasive. This is yung craniectomy. This is less invasive to, no? They put endoscopic, tinatawag na endoscopic evacuation of the hemorrhage. Maliit lang yung bukas. And this is an example of an aneurysm, no? Kitang-kita nyo, nagbalon siya. And how do we manage that? One way is to put clip para mag-collapse yung aneurysm. And there's no risk of fracturing anymore. Okay? So again, stroke chain of survival and recovery starts outside the hospital. That's why we're giving this talk. We give talks in the hospital how patients should be managed, no, urgently. But very important is the immediate action by the patient or the bystander. So ideally sana kung maganda yung EMS natin, the transport should be via the EMS. And they even have timelines sila by 8 minutes. Kailangan 1 minute nakarating na sila and 8 minutes transport na to the hospital. So timelines have been advocated na, no? Of course, it's not only acute treatment, rehabilitation is very important. Kaya nga, stroke chain of survival and recovery. So recovery is possible and that includes rehabilitation of patients with after stroke. Okay, I'll give you a short video on 60 minutes to life. It has 2 portions. This one is acting very fast. And this one was the regular, no, na patients na nagkakaroon ng stroke but decided to observe and pupunta muna sa doctor's clinic. Okay, this is 60 minutes to life.
How can you change your life in 60 minutes?
I think my husband's had a stroke.
We're on our way. The ambulance should be with you in about 8 minutes.
I'm not feeling well. I'm going to lie down for a while.
Stroke patient, ETA 2 minutes. Can we go straight through to radiology?
Get in the car. I'm taking you to the hospital.
The doctor is waiting at the scanner. Let's go.
Once we get there, I'll drop you at reception and park.
Mr. Smith, can you tell me how much you weigh?
I really hope someone will see us soon.
Don't wait. Act fast and give someone a second chance at life. Is life riding a bike with the ones you love? Or developing the patience to sit in a wheelchair? Is life enjoying every moment? Or watching it pass you by? Is life making a speech at your daughter's wedding? Or spending your days trying to learn how to say her name again? Strokes steal lives. Don't let time steal theirs. Make every second count. Pre-notify the hospital. Prep the patient quickly. Check for contraindications. Perform CT scan. Diagnose and treat. 60 minutes equals life. Make every second count.
So, yun yung 60 minutes. It's actually yung recommendation sa hospital, no? But you see that the 60 minutes actually starts sa bahay, no? If patients recognize and really go to the hospital immediately, ang laki ng potential for good recovery. As opposed to one who decided to observe and magpunta sa clinic, kita nyo, 4.5 hours, wala na yon. We cannot give the treatment to open the vessel. No? It's past that tinatawag namin golden period of stroke. Okay? So what are the do's in acute stroke? Write down the time of first symptoms. Very time-based kami. Unang-unang tinatanong ko dyan, anong oras nangyari? Okay? Help the person lie down. Loosen any restrictive clothing. Avoid pulling or straining any weakened limbs. No? Kasi yung tendencies, bakit mahina yan? No? Hinahatak. And we see some patients panay pasa. No? Kasi na pagkabuhat pa lang mali, natamaan yung extremities. No? Of course, if the patient is unconscious, check for breathing and pulse. If there's no pulse, begin CPR. But hindi naman common na arrest ka agad ang patients with stroke. Okay? Bring patient to the nearest stroke-ready hospital. We changed this because we saw a lot of patients being brought to hospitals which are not stroke-ready. Paano ba namin sinasabing stroke-ready ang hospital? They have brain attack teams. They have imaging available. And they have the capability to give the urgent treatments like TPA. There's significant loss of time in getting patients transported to another hospital. Kaya yun yung advocacy namin ngayon is go to a stroke-ready hospital. Pero in reality, ilan bang stroke-ready natin sa Pilipinas? Only 53. So yun nga sabi ko, I was talking to the previous day was the fear of having a stroke and you're in an area walang stroke-ready hospital, no? And I'll show you a video of where some of the stroke or video of what the stroke-ready hospitals are in the Philippines. It's not a complete, but at least you have an idea where you should go if you see somebody having a stroke. Okay? Sana, hopefully, we're working with EMS that we can improve our local EMS. While waiting, stay calm and remain by the person's side. Ito, mas important is the don'ts. Okay? Don't give aspirin or any medications. Especially if patients are taking their old medications, diba meron na sila maintenance. Don't give anything. Don't give aspirin kasi baka bleed yan. You don't know what type of stroke. Don't give medicines to lower the blood pressure kasi yung nangyayari sa brain is because of lack of blood flow, there's a compensatory of the body to increase blood pressure. So, kailangan ng brain ng more blood flow. So, the increased BP is compensatory. So, yan yung palagi namin kinokorek. Do not lower the blood pressure, even sa ibang hospitals. Get an imaging first, and there are guidelines on how to lower blood pressure in acute stroke. Don't give persons anything to eat or drink. No? Iba, naku, painumin natin ba pag may hinihimatay? Bigyan tubig. Wag. Don't do that in acute stroke. Because even swallowing may be affected and baka mag-aspirate pa yung patient. Don't stay at home. Nakita niyo na doon sa video, no? Nag-antay pa. Don't wait to observe if symptoms will get better or schedule a doctor's appointment. Hindi na. Go to the emergency room. Okay? Madalas doon na ako din, no? Late din ako sa clinic, no? Kasi lalo na no, kung late pa yung doktor nyo sa appointment. And ito, because we want, no, ito sa Philippines to, no? And I saw sa social media being circulated, no? Madumi yung dugo mo. Kaya pag na-stroke ka, mag-puncture ka at paduguin mo yung katawan. Hindi. Don't puncture or pour anything in the weak or numb extremities. Because we have seen cases na meron mga pinatuluan ng kandila, yung side na naman hit. So may side na na-stroke, may burn pa yung patient. No, don't do anything to the patient. Just bring the patient to the hospital. That's the only emergency management for stroke. There are a lot of misconceptions, no? Just to show you, the awareness is still lacking. No? Maraming cannot name a risk factor for stroke, and it's nationwide. No? Metro Manila, even in Ilocos Norte, a lot still confusing heart attack with stroke. And the delay in presentation, yan yung sad, no? Reasons for delay, walang magdadala. Pero in reality, no, yung traffic sa atin, no, hindi ko rin alam kung paano yung aayusin nyo, kung traffic, paano talaga marireach sa hospital. And ito, may observed at home and treated by traditional faith healers. Okay? And there's immediate consultation. Ito rin yung sad. No? Pumunta na nga sila sa tamang hospital, but the hospitals are not, they're not stroke ready. And yun nga, pag nilipat sa amin, they're beyond the window for treatment, no? Yung acute treatment na pwede. So, ano na lang, no? Secondary prevention na lang yung ginagawa namin. Okay? The last part I will emphasize is stroke is preventable. Okay? And as mentioned, 80% of strokes are preventable. Kasi meron talagang a few risk factors that we cannot do anything, no? As we age, the risk is higher. If you have family history of stroke, but this is not common, no? May mga genetic types of stroke, may mga CADASIL, but it's not common. Ethnicity. So, ang pinaka-common is blacks, Asians, then whites. So, wala tayong magagawa, Pilipino tayo. And gender. Males more than females. Because females have protective hormones. But up to a certain point, no? Pag menopause na, tumataas na ang risk ng females. Okay? But there are many modifiable risk factors. So how do you prevent stroke? Keep your blood pressure low, controlled, lower your cholesterol, eat healthy food, exercise regularly, 30 minutes a day, kahit break siya, break, hindi 30 minutes na continuous. Snoring is a risk factor. Okay, nakita na yan sa mga humihili. Manage your diabetes, drink in moderation. If you're drinking, do so in moderation. What's moderation? 2 bottles a day for males. Not bottles pala, sorry. Yung kung bottles, kung beer. Pag wine glass siya. Okay? Pag females, isa lang. But if you're not drinking, do not, kasi mahirap mag-moderate kung ano. So, ang advice namin is, if not drinking, do not drink anymore. The smoking is not reduced, but really entirely stop. If you're smoking, that time that your risk will be as the same as a non-smoker will be 5 years. So may mga nagsasabi na tumigil naman po ako na pag-smoke pero ba't na-stroke pa rin ako? It takes 5 years for your risk to go down to similar to a non-smoker. Okay? Avoid stress. Avoid. Hindi natin talaga maalis to, but maybe manage stress and maintain healthy weight. Okay? Easier said than done. Ang dami kasing fast food niya, mas madaling kainin. Show you the events in clot formation. I have only a few minutes now kasi I understand. Just to show you, these are LDL. These are the bad cholesterol. And eventually, ang cholesterol kasing sobra, dalawa lang naman pupuntahan yan eh. Either sa liver and you have fatty liver or the blood vessels. So you see that this event does not happen over time. So kung gusto niyang pasilip niya na yung neck vessels niyo, baka may plaque deposit na makikita yan sa ultrasound. So palaki yan ng palaki up to such time that the plaques becomes unstable and your platelets and RBC, which are normally flowing freely, will eventually get activated and they occlude the vessel. Kaya nga stroke is preventable eh. How to you prevent this from happening? And this happens because of all the risk factors present in a patient. Ito, secondary na lang to. Yung giving blood thinners. So, yan. So, dalawang klase ng blood thinners, depending on the type of stroke, can be anticoagulant. Usually, ito yung mga strokes na galing sa puso. And you see the vessels are clean except that you form a clot in the heart that went to the brain. And common yan sa patients, tinatawag namin may atrial fibrillation. Check nyo lang yung pulse, no? Dapat tug-tug, tug-tug. Ang AF tug-tug, 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 tug. Iba-iba, no? And because of that, there's blood stasis. Naiipon yung dugo and you form clots that goes to the brain. Ito yung example ng vessel. No? That's the vessel with, that's the fat. No? And these are actually the thrombus that forms. Kita niyo kung gaano kakapal yan. No? And that can be seen by doing ultrasounds. No? So you can actually, I mean, even without ultrasound, you really have to modify talaga. Yan siya. That's how it looks like. The fat with the thrombus there. Okay? So other treatments, as mentioned, and blood thinners, antihypertensive, you have to target a BP of less than 140/90. And you need to take statins to lower cholesterol, and ang target natin is an LDL, which is the bad cholesterol of less than 1 hour. Okay, last slide. Correcting myths by giving the true facts. Strokes cannot be prevented. The truth is 80% of strokes can be prevented. Strokes cannot be treated. Stroke is treatable. And in fact, it is an emergency. Ito yung tinanong ni Sarah, no? Was only elderly people can have a stroke. No, 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 no. Anyone, even the young, can have a stroke if the risk factors are not identified and properly managed. Stroke is the same as heart attack. No. The problem may be the same or similar, but the part of the body that's affected is different. Stroke is brain attack. Stroke treatment is given only for a few months. No, lalo na if you had a stroke na, life treatment may last a lifetime. And the emergency treatments, as nakikita namin in some patients, massage, observe, prick finger, drink water, and aspirin. These are definitely no-nos. Patients should be immediately brought to a stroke-ready hospital. Okay? I'll end with a video, just a parang cartoon to summarize everything. Because it's COVID, stroke doesn't stop for COVID-19. Remember to be fast and don't stay home. Okay? This is the video.
Every 2 seconds, someone somewhere in the world experiences a stroke. And 1 out of every 6 people will have one at some point in their lives. Strokes deprive brain cells of oxygen and are one of the most common causes of death and a leading cause of preventable disability. When someone experiences a stroke, quick medical care is critical and can often help avoid permanent brain damage. But what causes strokes in the first place, and what can doctors do to treat them? The brain makes up just 2% of your body's mass, but consumes more than 20% of the oxygen in your blood. That oxygen is carried to the brain through a system of arteries. Carotid arteries supply the front of the brain, and vertebral arteries supply the back. These are connected to each other and divide into smaller and smaller vessels that get billions of neurons the oxygen they need. If the blood flow is interrupted, oxygen delivery stops and brain cells die. There are 2 ways this can happen. Hemorrhagic strokes are when a perforated vessel allows blood to leak out. But the more common type is the ischemic stroke, when a clot blocks a vessel and brings blood flow to a halt. Where do these clots come from? On rare occasions, a sudden change in heart rhythm prevents the upper chambers of the heart from contracting normally. This slows down blood flow, allowing platelets, clotting factors, and fibrin to stick together. The clot can be carried up towards the arteries and blood vessels supplying the brain, until it gets to one it can't squeeze through. This is called an embolism, and it cuts off the oxygen supply to all the cells downstream. The brain doesn't have pain receptors, so you can't feel the blockage itself. But oxygen deprivation slows brain function and can have sudden, noticeable effects. For example, if the affected area is responsible for speech, an individual's words may be slurred. If the stroke affects a part of the brain that controls muscle movement, it can cause weakness, often just on one side of the body. When this happens, the body will immediately try to compensate by diverting blood flow to the affected area, but this isn't a perfect solution. Eventually, the oxygen-deprived cells will start to die, leading to brain damage that may be severe or permanent. That's why it's important to get medical care as fast as possible. The first line of treatment is an intravenous medication called tissue plasminogen activator, which can break up the blood clot and allow blood to flow again in the compromised artery. If it's delivered within a few hours, this medication greatly increases the chance of surviving the stroke and avoiding permanent consequences. If tissue plasminogen activator cannot be given because the patient is on certain medications, has history of major bleeding, or the clot is particularly large, doctors can perform a procedure called an endovascular thrombectomy. Using a fluorescent dye that illuminates the blood vessels under a strong X-ray, the physician inserts a long, thin, flexible tube called a catheter into an artery in the leg and maneuvers it all the way to the blockage. A retriever is passed through this catheter. It expands and anchors into the clot when it's just past it. The catheter then pulls the clot out when it's removed. These treatments need to be delivered as soon as possible to preserve brain function, which means figuring out fast if someone is having a stroke. So how can you tell? Here are 3 quick things to try. 1. Ask the person to smile. A crooked mouth or facial drooping can indicate muscle weakness. 2. Ask them to raise their arms. If one drifts downward, that arm weakness is also a sign of a stroke. 3. Ask them to repeat a simple word or phrase. If their speech sounds slurred or strange, it could mean that the language area of their brain is oxygen deprived. This is sometimes called the FAST test, and the T stands for time. If you see any of those signs, call emergency services right away. Lives may depend on it. We're on a
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. This ends my lecture, and I'm okay to receive and answer any questions. Thank you. Sorry about a while ago. May brain attack talaga. May brain attack.
No problem, Doc Tina. Thank you again. Thank you, Doc Tina, for reminding us, no, kung nung bata tayo, time is gold lang yung alam natin. Ngayon, tandaan na rin natin. Time is a brain. So, thank you for reminding us dyan sa dyan, no, Doc, para ma-recognize natin yung stroke, because time really saves lives. And stroke is an emergency, and we need to recognize it, and time is brain. Ayan. So, okay, let's proceed to the sa open forum na po, Doc Tina. We have a few questions in our chat box. Let me read them to you po, no? Just let's go through them. So, first question, how is sleep apnea related with risk of having stroke? Are the causes of sleep apnea also preventable?
Yes. Yung sleep apnea, yung tumitigil, no? Yung large snorers, and then they end up stopping, no? Kaya apnea. And then they wake up because nag-alert na eh. The body feels kulang yung oxygen, so they need to wake up, and kaya doon sila hihinga. It has been shown to be a risk factor for stroke. Independently, no? Independent of other risk factors. It's not as high, but ang problem with sleep apnea is you lack oxygen, and also tumataas yung blood pressure mo if you have sleep apnea. Now, can it be prevented? Common nakikita sleep apnea in patients who are obese. So part of the treatment for sleep apnea is to lose weight. Okay? And if na-diagnose ka may sleep apnea, they can give you yung mga tinatawag nating CPAP, no, yung and tinatitrate ng mga sleep specialist. So that can be, some of our stroke patients, no, hiniscreen namin, no, we commonly ina-ask ko yun, malakas ba maghilik itong asawa nyo? And then we do sleep studies then. Because yung giving the treatment, if incomplete, might predispose the patient to have another stroke.
Yes, correct. Tapos ang dami po kasi yung possible causes also of sleep apnea. No?
Yes.
So, and usually,
alcohol.
sabi ko nga po, yes. So, minsan nga sabi ko,
Alcohol.
barkada kasi itong mga to barkada of illnesses that may occur together. So, you can have obesity, you can have cholesterol problems with it also, and diabetes. No? So, recognizing also is very important. So, next question po ako, Doc Tina, which hospitals daw po in Metro Manila are considered stroke ready?
Okay. I hindi ulaksing time to show the video, but for Metro Manila, ang mga stroke ready hospitals are the big hospitals, which includes St. Luke's, Makati Med, Medical City, ano pa ba? And even government hospitals, PGH, Manila Doctors, ano pa ba? Baka might miss even Jose Reyes, UST are stroke ready hospitals. So karamihan ng mga training institutions are stroke ready. Asian Hospital. So I might miss out, no? But I can provide a list of stroke ready hospitals. Quirino is a stroke ready hospital. So yung mga government hospitals, PGH, JR, Quirino are stroke ready hospitals. And kasama sa advocacy namin ngayon is really getting more hospitals to be stroke ready. Kasama sa namin yun, to teach them to be stroke ready and make RTPA available in these hospitals as well.
Opo. Yes. So sa mga nagbabalak buong bahay, joke lang. Hanapin yung stroke ready, ready areas, joke lang. But it's a good, if you have that luxury of choosing where you settle with this in consideration, di ba? Anyway, we have another question, Doc Tina. Would you recommend additional tests during executive check-up that can somehow detect future stroke? Do we have that, Doc Tina?
Depende kasi sa package ng executive check-up But mostly, ang ang important naman really is yung mga cholesterol, yung diabetes, di ba? If most of the medically treated these factors, kasama naman I think sa package, testing for diabetes, testing for hypertension. Siguro lang, maybe kung yung ultrasound sana, carotid ultrasound, pwede isama. Some packages would include that para makita nyo kung may plaque deposits na kayo. Minsan kasi, ako lang, personally, if you know the numbers itself doesn't make people fear mataas yung cholesterol ko, parang it doesn't matter. Pero pag nakita mo, pizza, papakita ko yung ugat. Tingnan niyo yung ugat mo. Kalahati barado na. So, that might be an addition to that.
Kasi most of the APE din, Doc, na nakikita ko, the standard lang urinalysis, CBC, minsan wala pang FBS.
Nako, sugar must be there. The only way to do that is really measure those things. Kasi wala ka nararamdaman pero abnormal na pala.
Important talaga, Doc, yung minention nyo po ng mga yung mga modifiable risk factors. Kasi yung mga modifiable na natin yun yung nabigay sa atin. Yes. But the things that we can control, we control. Yung weight, sugars, blood pressure, cholesterol, smoking, those vitamins po, Okay, we still have a few questions, Doc Tina. So, another is, can stroke patients recover fully if they are treated quicker? How long does it take to recover from a stroke?
Recovery, unfortunately, we cannot say if recovery will be full. There are patients who end up with residual, but the goal really is to minimize the disability and prevent avoidable disability. Minsan kasi pag mali yung ginawa, I mean, there are, I'm not saying, but some hospitals would do the opposite thing, babagsak yung blood pressure, then the patient ends up with worse. So, ang goal natin is prevent death and prevent avoidable disability and maximize the best possible recovery. So recovery might be not 100%, but make the patients able to function as much as possible even after the stroke. And recovery happens not only kasi iba, dapat ba 3 months, 6 months? No. Recovery can happen longer than 6 months. But the recovery is seen faster within the first 6 months. So mas tumatagal ka may deficits, most likely nagiging residual na siya.
And crucial din, Doc, yung rehab po, no? You mentioned it earlier, rehab. Kasi
definitely
yung mga strengths, no? Yung muscle strength and yung ability to, at least yung mga activities, personal daily activities.
Ang tawag namin doon, neuroplasticity. You help, neuroplasticity. Plasticity means the ability of the brain. Remarkable ang brain eh. The ability to the brain to repair itself. So there are certain parts of the brain who can take over the damaged brain. Nakikita yun with PET scanning ngayon na nag-highlight yung opposite side. And yung mga dati mong pathways, hindi kailangan na i-rebuild ng brain. That's how the brain is remarkable. And rehab helps with that. Neuroplasticity.
Yeah. So does COVID daw, ito, napapanahon tanong, no? Does COVID increase your risk for stroke?
Definitely. COVID makes your blood hypercoagulable, malapot. And we've seen cases that they present even without respiratory symptoms and they present with stroke and end up to be positive with COVID. Yun yung problema. So let's not fear about the respiratory symptoms. Let's also fear the hypercoagulable state that results from COVID, and you can end up with stroke. And we see that even with young patients, young adults. And ang worst sa COVID-related strokes, they block the big vessels. Hindi yung maliliit na vessels. They block the big vessels and they end up with worse disability.
Is there a difference daw po, Doc, in protocols? For example, handling stroke patients during COVID and pandemic. May pinagbago daw po ba?
And that the treatments are the same, except acute stroke. I'm talking about acute stroke, so that you can give still the TPA, you can still do thrombectomy. We have added safety protocols lang for the safety of patients and the healthcare workers. So, medyo na-delay yung time namin because of donning, doffing. But at may learning curve mabilis na rin. It's just the protocols that have been changed. But the treatments remain to be the same.
Sinaswab nyo pa rin, Doc, kahit po stroke yung entry, tapos sinaswab pa rin sila sa ER.
Yes, as mentioned, some patients present with stroke and not with any respiratory symptoms. So, automatic sa amin yan. We swab them.
Apo. Doc, habol pa question. How do we manage daw? Kunwari sabay, stroke, brain attack, and heart attack daw. Paano daw po minamanage yun?
Mas mahirap kasi laging discussion yan eh. Unahin ba yung heart o unahin yung brain? Ang goal namin is if the heart can tolerate, unahin namin yung brain. Kasi we have only 4 hours. The brain can tolerate longer hours. Pero if unstable yung patient, nga rin, nag-hypotension na, unahin namin yung heart. So it's a discussion between the neurologist and the cardiologist. Special scenarios yan. And we have seen cases like that.
Nako, Doc, so hindi lang pala stroke ready yung gusto natin, pati cath lab capable din pala.
Yes, exactly. Kaya kasama din namin patients who come with stroke, ini-ECG namin. Kasi mamaya nag-heart attack sila and they cannot say anything. They cannot complain of chest pain, aphakic, pero nag-heart attack na. So kasama. That's part of the patient's workup in acute stroke.
Thank you po, Doc Tina, for your for accommodating us sa iyong busy schedule. I know busy ka, pero thank you for giving us time and also answering our questions. Medyo makulit kami. Do we have any more questions? Kung wala po, Do you have any summary ko or home? I think paulit-ulit naman na natin nasabi doon, Doc, no? But if you are going to give or take home or one last message.
4 points. Stroke is brain attack. Stroke is an emergency. Stroke is treatable. Stroke is preventable. Remember, and most important, time is brain. So 5 points. Please
Sige,
remember.
Doc. Wait lang. Ano ako? Ulit para i-remind natin.
Stroke is brain attack.
Stroke is brain attack.
Stroke is an emergency.
Stroke is an emergency.
Stroke is treatable.
Stroke is treatable.
Stroke is preventable.
Stroke is preventable.
Time is brain.
Time is
Time
brain.
is brain. Or time lost. Or time lost is brain lost.
Yes. So everyone, remember yung 5 yun, ha? If you are going to leave your office or where you are right now, makuha nyo lang yung 4 na yun. Masayang-masaya na kami. Masayang si Doc Tina.
Please help spread that. Because we need
Opo.
people to educate. Spread it out.
Doc Tina, maraming salamat po for all the help that you do, hindi lang sa hindi lang po sa managing a stroke, but also in evidence. Yan si Doc Tina, nagre-review, nagre-research din yan to improve our quality of care for our students. So thank you, Doc Tina.
Thank you.
And before everyone goes, can we hear some words from Doc Nancy? Doc Nancy?
Yes, good morning sa lahat.
Hi, Doc. Good morning.
Morning. Maraming salamat, Doc Tina. Talagang hindi namin ma-underestimate how busy you are, no? Na in fact, during your lecture, you needed to answer the call. So maraming salamat, sabi nga ni San, no, for allowing us to learn from you, giving us time to learn from you. And that was a very excellent you were an excellent moderator. In fact, nagustuhan nila yung sinasabi mo, barkada ng mga sakit, no?
Yes, opo.
Ayoko na nga magsalita kasi pasyente po ako nisa. So, we will continue to provide, the GTA and Unilab with learnings. Hindi lang para sa atin, para natatakot. Actually, habang nag-lecture si Doc Tina, natatakot ako na because we're still in the middle of the pandemic. But yun nga, knowledge is power. If we will just listen to what Dr. Tina mentioned, especially yung recognition, I think very important yung recognition, yung be fast. So in our own little way, we can help our families, here in the workplace and in our community to lessen the burden of stroke at malaking gastos, di ba? At syempre yung burden yan sa pamilya at sa community. So sana po ay marami kayong napulot sa umagang ito at ang susunod natin naman na topic will be on headache. So isang common din na mga presentation, even I don't know kung headache then is a common presentation of stroke, no? But I wanted to ask nga kanina Doc Tina, pero kami na lang siguro mag-uusap because, we wanted really to have an impact, no? Itong GTA, to have an impact in the healthcare, especially now during this pandemic. So maraming salamat ulit, GTA Academy, HR, yung CIT, sa patuloy na pagsuporta sa buwan-buwan nating itong GTA webinar. At mag-ingat po kayo kasi maraming mga kaso pa rin, no, na nangyayari, especially here in NCR. If you can just postpone yung mga family gatherings o yung mga pagkain sa labas, tiis muna tayo ulit, no, while we're still seeing another surge, especially here in NCR. Again, maraming salamat at ingat po kayo palagi.
Thank you po, Doc Nancy. And that was another enriching learning session. No, it's always a good time to learn something new. be reminded of what we already know and strengthen kung ano yung mga alam na natin. Thank you, everyone, for taking your time, for attending our webinar today and listening. On behalf of Sir Joey, the GTA Medical, GTA Webinar, and Unilab Corporate IT, we wish you a very nice day. Goodbye, everyone. Be healthy, stay safe, and we'll see you again soon. Happy weekend po.